The Bible isn't just a holy book for Christians. It's also the best tool atheists have to turn people away from Christianity. I mean, when you think of all the contradictions in the Bible, and all the stories of rape and murder, or the story of how God wanted Abraham to kill his son Isaac as a sacrifice in order to show his devotion, it's kind of horrifying that so many people take this book seriously. It's not a good book by any stretch of the imagination. And why do so many Christians take that book seriously? Well, a lot of them haven't actually read it. And a lot of them have only heard the sanitized versions of those stories. And some Christians have just rationalized away all the crazy stuff that's in there. I mean, we hear that last one all the time. Like, oh, don't worry about that genocide. It's in the Old Testament. If Richard Dawkins did the stuff that God commands people to do in the Bible, we atheists would never hear the end of it. But if you actually read the book, there's a good chance you're not gonna finish it without becoming an atheist if you aren't one already. It helps that the opening chapter of the book is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, God creates light on day 1, but forgets to make the sun until day 4. There's also a talking snake, and the idea that all the evil we see in the world happened because someone decided to eat an apple. You don't have to read very far into the Bible before the warning alarms start going off in your head. What's scary is that a lot of Christians don't see the book as a metaphor or as a collection of stories. They take the book literally. They really think Adam and Eve are our distant ancestors. I mean, that's how deluded they are. I mean, no one should believe this stuff. And it doesn't get any better in the New Testament. I mean, just look at the miracles of Jesus. Walking on water, healing a paralytic man, feeding the multitudes with a very limited amount of food, coming back from the dead. I mean, it's unreal. Literally, it's unreal. It didn't happen. I mean, if anyone said, oh yeah, I did that exact same thing today, we would just say, no, you didn't. We'd call that bullshit. Just because these stories took place supposedly, 2,000 years ago, it doesn't make it any more legitimate. If you read the Bible for the first time as an adult, and you had never heard any of these stories before, you know what your reaction would be. It'd be like, you've got to be kidding me. People actually believe this? But it turns out, yeah, a lot of people believe this stuff, and it's because they were indoctrinated in it from childbirth. They just grow up with these stories, so they just assume they're real. What you have to do is look at these stories with fresh eyes, as if you've never heard them before, and atheists do that really well. And that's why reading the Bible, to me anyway, is so much more powerful than the God delusion when it comes to shedding your faith. When you actually read it, you realize the Bible is full of sexism and violence and bad science. And if you have to wade through all that to find the wisdom, maybe you need to find another guidebook to your life. I think Bill Maher made this analogy before, but if you saw a barrel of apples and the whole top were all the rotten brown ones, and there were only a couple of good green ones on the inside, you wouldn't pick out one of those green ones, hold it up, and say, this barrel is awesome. No, you would say, you know what? I think I can live without apples. That's what the Bible is like. The Bible is also like a mirage in the desert when you're desperate for water. It looks amazing from a distance. The idea of it is so powerful that you will keep going after it no matter what condition you're in. But it turns out there's no substance there at all. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. What do you want to see a video about? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll be sure to check it out. And don't forget to subscribe.